Hey, so it's been a while. Listen, the question that is on everybody's mind in real estate, or should be on your mind if you're concerned or interested in real estate in New York City, is how long can the bull market run? How much of an impact is the inflation having? Like, where are we in the cycle? Because the COVID that happened in 2020 really kind of messed with our cycle a little bit. And the reason I know this is because at the end of 2019, it was sort of the end of a down cycle of about since 2017 or so, or the end of 2016. So it was the end of like a 3-year down cycle, let's say. And the beginning of 2020, just pre-COVID, and the very end of 2019 were the beginning of an upswing. And I went into our Corcoran database and I looked at the past 30 years of inflationary trends. And I want to share this with you because I think it's going to be very instructive to telling us where in the cycle we are and how long we can anticipate this continuing, this crazy bull market that we're seeing in New York City real estate. So 30-year study, 1990 to 2020. There's price per square foot, which basically mirrors the inflation trend, the average sales price. I'm going to focus on the average sale price because price per square foot also matters with new development and how much new development there is. When people are building up higher, it tends to cost more on a price per square foot basis. So here you can see, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. Starting in 1990, we had it's a down period for a few years, 4 years or so there. And then it flattened out a little bit. And then as far as when we're focusing on up markets, okay, which we are in now, starting in about from 1996 to 1997, we had the market started going up in price. So 97 to 98, 99, 2000, 2001. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4-year cycle. Okay, 4-year bull run for the real estate market in Manhattan. Things went down slightly, then they went on for another longer extended run. This is a 6-year run, 1, 2, 3 from 2003 to 2008. So, or excuse me, 2002 to 2008. We saw another big upswing. Then, if you probably already know, there was a big crash in 2008. Prices really dropped. We saw another sort of, level or slightly downtrend, a big drop in 2009 numbers wise. And then that continued for the next few years till about 2012. And in 2013, the market turned around. And guess what? Another 1, 2, 3, 4 years to 2016 of an up market. Then from 2016, we saw that little bit of a slide from 2017, 2018, 2019. Although 2019 was higher than 2018, and then 2020 happened. Now, what I will say is, if COVID hadn't happened, there was a huge upswell in the market in terms of buyer activity and selling activity. Well, selling activity, just closings at the very end of 2019, the last quarter of 2019, into the first quarter of 2020. Then COVID came in March of 2020 and squashed everything. But the thing is, the natural cycle, after a 4-year downtrend since 2016, the natural cycle was definitely on an upswing for the next few years. Based on what I see looking at this data, I would say that we're probably about halfway through the natural upcycle of New York City real estate. Now, I can't promise, that something else isn't going to happen, things will change, but I can tell you that the last year was the biggest year in real estate in New York City history. 2021 was the biggest year ever for New York City real estate. I don't think you're going to suddenly see a drop in prices in the year after the biggest year ever, because there's nothing, doesn't seem to be anything squashing the demand. And in fact, knowing that the Fed is going to be raising rates probably several times this year, and that bank rates on mortgages are likely to go up, a lot of buyers are moving to buy things now. And if you're a buyer and you're thinking about buying and you're like, should I wait until prices go down? If you wait for prices to go down, you could be waiting for a few years. And on top of that, you're going to be seeing much higher rates a few years from now, most likely. So my advice to buyers is buy sooner rather than later. you take advantage of low rates if rates are a thing for you. And for sellers, now's the time to get in the game. The inventory is very low. Everything that I have 8 or 9 listings. They're all either under contract or very close to being under contract. And I think this is through all the markets. If you go look at Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, it's the same thing everywhere. And remember that we're not quite the same as the rest of the country. New York City works on its own timeline and often doesn't mirror the rest of the country. So this information is specific to New York City. So I hope that's helpful. If you are thinking about buying and selling, then you should really pay attention to these numbers and these trends, because I think that we're going to see another year or two, certainly another year and probably another 2 before this bull market kind of winds down. That's it. I'm going to also talk in a little while about, I'm going to go through actual yearly numbers for 2021. So stay tuned. Okay, talk to you.